quite a good time chatting with these guys. We were certainly goofing around a little bit, running wild. So there might be some, like, prepare yourself for the doom that will ensue here in my home country with our discussions ranging from the local scene where I was and where they are. As the guitarist, the guitarist has really been around the country quite a bit, so he's seen what the scene is like, and multiple different varieties. So we can certainly say that this episode was a lot of fun with the sense of humor alert being needed here. Make sure you have a bit of a sense of humor, as there's quite a bit of goofing off, and that was a delightful taste, taken in delightful taste. So these are really good guys. I hope you enjoy it. Our conversation. Oh.
There we go.
Yeah. I got some
All right,
audio.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I got audio. I got video. Can you hear me okay?
Sure. I can.
Sweet.
Let me get a better. I'm pretty ugly. Let me get a better angle. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah,
Cool, man. Cool.
It's all the lighting on my end. I don't have much visuals over here. I don't know if you can see my guitar in the background. It's cool. I see some Warlocks. I see the Flying V.
Yeah, all my guitars are 7 strings. I have a few Ibanez Universes. I have 3. Here's one. Here's like my newest Ibanez Universe. You can see.
Wow.
And got I don't use any of these guitars in Torn From Existence, but here's the OG one I used to use in my other band, Thanatopsis. Old one. I just had my buddy restore it. It's like a 1991 one. And then I have this one over here.
Yeah.
This one here, I don't know if you've ever seen Ola England before.
No.
He does an episode. He has the same guitar. The serial number on this guitar is like 0000092. This is like one of the first 100 Ibanez Universes ever made. And I got this and that Marshall straight cab over there from this fucking meth head in Concord, California for like $400, dude, like in 1992.
No way. Yeah, that's a crazy good price.
Yeah, no doubt. As you said, now, may rest in peace. I actually feel kind of bad about it. But, yeah, the main guitar that I'm using in this band is my, I know Jeff Loomis is with Jackson now, but I prefer the Schecter Jeff Loomis guitar. Something about,
okay.
I don't know if they're extra jumbo frets or like what they are, but, I don't know, just thinking about these frets, I have big hands,
They clearly are, yeah.
Big hands. Got to keep your pip hand strong. So I have big ass hands, so like these frets just really work for me. Now you even notice on other guitars that supposedly have jumbo frets, when you go past the 12th fret, it seems like they get a little closer here, but on this guitar I don't feel that. So anyway, yeah, I'll talk about guitars and gear all day.
Right, that would make for some good.
Here, my keyboard player wants to do this too. So how can we also get her on the call? She hasn't.
On that precision, on that high up on the neck. With those thin those thin frets, that would make seriously would make for some killer precision, and hearing the sound that you guys use on your album, like that's probably what you must have that must have been as high up on the neck as you were. I know you got some live performances on there. I didn't check out the live performance sets yet.
Yeah, there's some live stuff on there. I'm wondering if it looks better in here. If it's like yeah, that's a little better, huh? You don't get the glare?
Yep.
Did you find Rhea on there? It's like Rhea Wiz or something. Hang on.
I'm trying to type it in here. My lighting's going to change in a minute, too. I'm going to be turning regular lights on once this red light goes out, and then...
Okay.
And then you can see my guitar that I have. It's... But this is mostly about the artist. This is mostly about the guest on the show. I do sometimes talk about myself a little bit, but I don't like talking too much about myself. It's about you guys as the guest. So
yeah, man.
We'll try to get as much as crammed in as we can before while we're waiting here. I saw the Warlock too. The Warlock caught my eye. I'm not a big fan of Flying V's. I don't like the Flying V.
No, it's not a Warlock. I don't actually have I don't have any Warlock. Which one are you talking about? This one over here?
Yeah, it looks like a Warlock. The one next to the Gibson.
Yeah, no, it's because the candles are messing up. Check it out. This is kind of a weird guitar.
That one, yeah, it looks like a Warlock. It's a V?
This is in California. This is actually a Jackson Randy Rhoads Flying V.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a Rhodes V. It's like also a 7-string one. It has the inverted headstock too, kind of like how Robin Crosby from Rat had back in the day.
See, yeah, that's Jackson. Yeah, that's Jackson.
Yeah, that's Jackson.
Way better than.
Yeah, this is a weird guitar. I think it's a very expensive guitar. Kind of a cheap one. I thought it had 7 strings, and then back in the day, I've had this guitar for a long time. Then back in the day, I actually put these Seymour Duncan Blackouts in it. I have some passive pickups, like in my universes and stuff, and I have like juggernauts and bare knuckles and stuff.
And so they're all 7-string, and they're all 7-string. That's crazy good for...
Yeah, I look at hers, they're 7 strings. I got used to it when, back in 1990, I want to say, when Steve Vai put out the Passion and Warfare record, he kind of brought like the entire Ivanhoe's Universe 7-string play. That's why I started playing 7 strings, was because of the Steve Vai, for sure. And then they kind of got popularized by like Korn, and then like Fear Factory started using them and stuff. It kind of became like a new metal thing, but...
Excellent place to start on the convo while we're waiting on the other guests, because they can...
hang on, let me see. Hey guys, she's messaging me over here.
Okay.
I'm like, not sure what she wants to do. Let's see what she wants to do. Oh, geez, I've never used Facebook Messenger. I have used... Yeah, it's just the same. It's just the same. It's the same. She can call you through Messenger. Right?
Yep, I'm going to try to invite her in through this screen I'm on right now, the screen prompt I'm on right now.
You find her?
Yeah, it's going to probably send her an invite, and then we can get as many people in here as possible, because it would be me, you, her, and then isn't there another guy you were saying too? Because you're the guitarist.
No, I think just her and I are going to do it.
Oh, start with the introduction too. I want to start with the introductions when we get, maybe right now even, just introduce yourself on who you are, what's your name, what instruments you play. Obviously, they're guitarist. Are you lead or rhythm?
She's laughing right now because you have to put up with those boomers having problems with all the technology and stuff.
Hey,
hang on a second. I have a glass of wine. I'm going to grab it, and then I'll answer that question for sure. All right. Yes. Introduce myself. Who's messaging me over there? Good grief, everyone's messaging me right now.
I hear the ping. Yeah, I hear the ping.
Yeah, good grief. That's somebody else. Those are my like an entourage of metal friends that we have an ongoing conversation with, and we're talking about everything here.
Sweet.
She's messaging me.
Sweet.
Still doing. She's like still doing 6:30, right? Okay, yeah. So she still wants to wait another half hour or whatever. But yeah, so
no worries.
you and I.
No worries.
Yeah. Yeah, here. Hang on, let me just show you. Yeah, no worries. Him and I are just talking about now. You're gonna edit all this stuff together, right?
Yep.
I'll say no worries. That's got on with you because we want to test and everything.
Yeah, if this is it's a delight to have a lengthy one, because then I've already added in one of my favorite tracks off the album, and then I asked you your favorite track or which track you'd like me to promote, and so I added that.
Yeah.
And then I added mine, so the episode will start with the one you said, and then it'll end with the one I said. And I want to try to get like at least a clip of the live performance in there, but I got the clip of that one guy with the top hat, and he's promoting your album in that really strange voice that's just so bizarre, like creepy.
So do you know who that is?
No.
Okay, so that's Bootsy Collins. Bootsy Collins is the legendary bass player from the band Parliament Funkadelic, which is like a huge funk band that came out, I believe, maybe even the 60s, I think early 70s, on the Casablanca record label, which is the same label that Kiss came out on, like all those early Kiss albums.
Okay.
So essentially, Bootsy Collins is like an OG funk bass player, and he was like basically like, they're like the funk kind of groove equivalent to like what Kiss were back in the 70s and stuff. Yeah, he's a legend, and he does cameo, and a lot of people do cameo these days, right? I understand all these musicians need to hustle since their industry's been demolished.
With him doing that creepy voice.
And I'm like, hey, you know what? If he's going to sell out, then we're going to make him talk about symphonic black and death metal. So there you go. And, it's like all these metal guys are going to be like, oh, this is Gary Holt from Exodus, blah, 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 But I knew that, this is actually Rhea's idea. We knew that he would be a little more entertaining, and he was. He dressed up on metal and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That dude's like an OG, like bass playing, like legend in like the funk world.
Wow. I mean, yeah, just like the weirdness in his voice, the way that he did it was so, it added variety. I was like,
He's also in a band called have you ever heard of a band called Praxis? Praxis?
No.
Have you ever heard of Buckethead? The guitar player has like the chicken bucket on his head and like the mask. So that guy, that bass player, Brucey Collins, he's also in a band with Buckethead called Praxis. It's like just over the top, like fusion, funk, like crazy shit. I used to live in the Bay Area. I used to live in San Francisco. I was there in the early 90s during kind of when the thrash scene was dying out a little bit and death metal was coming up is when I was around there. And we actually saw him play at Slim's in San Francisco. What state are you in? I forgot.
Oh, I'm in Illinois. So I'm in...
Okay, cool, man. Cool. Reggie's. So Reggie's is that, right?
Yeah, here in Chicago, we got a pretty lively scene, and I've yet to really make much of a presence yet. But I think I have so many hands in so many different pies right now, doing this show, doing my music videos, doing the concept albums, I just made a movie.
Oh, cool.
And just everything else.
Yeah, we're trying to record our video soon, but we probably have to wait a little bit. Probably, well, good grief, we probably won't even be able to start doing it until March now. Yeah, I know about Reggie's. I've not been there. We have a band here that we're friends with, Viper, which they just played a fest. I think it was at Reggie's. It was like a more of a traditional metal fest. I know that like Watchtower were there. I think maybe Nasty Savage were there, I want to say. Anyway, our friend's band, who are also from Denver, Viper Witch, they played at Reggie's not too long ago. I have another friend who lives... I've heard that this is like probably the most boring and vanilla place in all of Illinois. But he lives in a place called Alsip, Illinois. Have you heard of Alsip, Illinois?
Yeah. That's right outside the city. It's rural, but it's outside the city.
My singer from my last band, he used to live there. He lives in California now, but he used to live there too.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about Reggie's for sure, and you see it in a lot of magazines. Because we have entertainment magazine, a free entertainment magazine that has all the bulletins for that. If you go to a music shop like a Guitar World or something, they got free issues of these magazines for bulletins all over it for all these festivals. That's and all these places.
I think that we have like kind of free publications here like that, like one called Westward, but it's not very... I mean, they talk about metal, but I wouldn't say that they're very metal-centric. Okay. You know what I mean? Although here in Denver, we do have a very, 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 very sick metal scene. In fact, let's see, out of all the metal scenes I've lived in, which I grew up kind of in the same part of the country that you're in. I grew up in Cleveland. I left Cleveland when I was 18. Okay. Yeah, I grew up in Cleveland, went to a lot of shows there as I was growing up. A lot of classic shows. Like I saw Megadeth on their first tour, the Killing for a Living tour. I saw Death on their first tour, the Scream Bloody Gore tour. King Diamond. I wasn't quite old enough to see King on the first tour, but I saw him like Abigail. Trouble from Chicago I've seen opening for King. My old band actually opened for Trouble on the Manic Frustration tour. Yep. The Stone in San Francisco.
Well, yeah. So with this specific genres, they were talking black and death, and then black and just straight black metal. We got Abigail Williams from out here.
Yeah.
They're back. They're back touring and making new music.
Yeah, they played here not too long ago. I think somebody in Abigail Williams is also in a band from here called Dale of Noth. Are you familiar with that band?
Yeah.
I think they share some members. Yeah. Because that band's actually from here.
Okay, that's cool because that band seems like more of a technical death metal or technical black, and they have the technical timing in their riff structures and everything are very technical.
Totally. Yeah, I just saw last week was so great. We had such a great scene here, and all the shows come here. We're kind of central. You guys are central too, so you get everything also. We're kind of like central, like, you know, Texas is almost like a band can like do an entire tour in Texas in and of itself.
Right.
But people like coming from like your part of the country to California, they all stop in Denver. Plus we have like a big, kind of like you guys, we also have kind of like a hub airport, you know?
Yep.
So we get a lot of shows too. I mean, last week alone, I saw Exodus and Havoc, who are also from here, on Monday. Then on Thursday, I saw King Diamond and Overkill. And then I thought about this because you were talking about technical death metal. I just saw, are you familiar with this band? They're a German band. I'm totally sick, dude. I saw them on Saturday. Cytotoxin. They're like an over-the-top technical death metal band, but they have like some kind of slammy elements too.
No, it sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just crazy, dude. It's dope. Like, they have, like, these fucking, like, nuclear waste buckets on stage and stuff. Like, smoking out.
Yeah,
it was just really
those
good
Germans
stuff.
never fail. I don't know what it is about Germany. They just never fail. They have, like, a very perfectionist,
They have the discipline down.
I want to try to see. I want to try to see, like, where I want to try to see where I'm going here with where I was trying to go with that. The topics of like the scene out here.
Sorry, I'm a talker.
Oh, for sure. I missed the introduction. So your name and
I didn't even do it.
Yeah, I didn't.
We'll do my introduction now, and then Rhea can do hers when she comes on.
All right.
But I am David A. Couch. The A is so as not to be confused with the other David Couches in the business. And I am the lead guitarist of Torn from Existence.
Okay, cool. So that
good one, right?
Yeah, that was good. Good introduction for sure. So the way that I found you guys is showing some pretty prominent success with that album that you guys have. I'm really disappointed to only see one album. I mean, what I want to jump to straight away in questions is, like, are you guys working on another new album already, or do you guys have anything? Is it how's the band flowing naturally after the first album? You know, how are things gelling now that the first album's complete? And it's pretty successful on black metal promotion. And that's how I found it.
Pretty well, but I think the other day, we're at over 11,000 views now, so that's really impressive. There's something magic about that Black Metal Promotions website. Good grief. A lot of people listen and respect that page. And, well, to answer your question, we are a pretty new band, and we were around, Bill and I, as the bass player, Bill the bass, we were around for about a year. And I wrote that album from start to finish in about a year. And the way the order of the songs are on that album is the same order that the songs were written. So that album, like, really, really flowed, like, pretty well. And, you know, by the time we finished writing it, then we had our line solidified and we were able to start playing out. We actually started playing out before we had any music out. So that being said, we are a pretty new band. But to answer your question, over the past year, we've been playing out for just over a year now. We haven't played out that much. We've only played like 6 or 7 shows. The most successful ones thus far, they've all been good. We have not had a bad, thank you, City of Denver. We have not had a bad show yet. Like, all of them have been well attended, well received, even before our album came out. And, you know, it's a pretty new album. It just came out on October 4th. So it's good grief. Just not even a month, you know, just over a month, 45 days or whatever, not like that.
So you guys
it hasn't been out for that long. But to answer your question, yeah, we are gelling, and you'll be happy to hear that our entire second album is already written in its entirety. Like, the album's written. It's done. So right now, we're just working on the parts. Yeah, we're working on the new material, and, you know, things evolve over time, and, you know, Rhea's going to come in, there's going to be changes, and, you know, the way, when I say written, everything's demoed with drum tracks, with programmed drum tracks, and that all changes too, like Jeremiah will come in, write in some parts, things will change, but, yeah, I mean, we have another album, like, written, and we're just learning it and working on it now. We've been talking to a couple people about who we're going to record with already. And I think that we should start recording. I would say probably mid-next year we'll start recording it, because we have shows in January.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like I said, this album's still new, so we want to let it, you know, I don't want to get shelved prematurely. I want to give it its due. So what that means for us, since we don't have a label or anything like that, is finding ways that we can bring more attention to it.
For sure.
So,
yeah.
Like I said, the next thing we're going to do, like, you reminded me of this, when you told me you made a movie, which I would like to maybe not in this session, but I would like to hear about it. I'm really interested in that. Well, my son's actually going to film school right now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, man, but we're going to make a video next, and it's going to be hysterical and epic and evil, but that's probably not going to happen until March. So we're going to keep pushing this album, but yeah, we do have another entire album written, and probably even part of a third album written too, to be honest.
That's where, you don't have to worry. I'm going to save most of the questions for when the other artists hop on here with us. But I can try to run the same question into the ground as long as possible. And
hey, you know what? You're a cool guy. Let me see if these other guys want to hop on too. I'll just message them to be like, hey, if anyone wants to hop on, just give me your Insta.
Sure.
Here, I'll do this on the band chat. All right, here we go. Oh, good grief! All this stuff's been happening. All right, if anyone wants to jump on podcasting, I'll invite everybody to do it. Things like,
see who takes.
Yeah. If anyone wants to jump on this podcasting, let me know. He will invite you on Insta, because you are not on Facebook. You're on Instagram.
No Facebook for me, just Instagram.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's what I should be like.
This is a YouTube exclusive season, so it's only going to be on YouTube for now.
Cool, man.
I'm kind of acclimating with Spotify allowing videos and having that be the more popular format. So season 6, this is season 5. When season 6 premieres, when things always go good like this is chill. This is ideal, where the conversation's flowing smoothly. I've been on before where it seems so formal, and it's like it's not anybody's fault. There's nothing wrong with the formal. I like the formal chats when you get straight to the facts, but it makes it where when it's more casual, I'm more comfortable inviting you on, or if you come on for a second feature, it's like I can expect that you'll be honest about what you thought about the episode and stuff.
Yeah. We all like to talk.
Yeah, especially
that's what I'm saying. It might be a lot with all of us. Especially like I'm a talker. Craig's a talker, Rhea's a talker, our singer Jerry, he's a little more quiet. Bill is also a talker. Yeah, we're actually a pretty social group, and we like to go out to all the shows here, and good grief, we're opening for Venom Inc. It's not until January even. I've already passed out personally like over 400 flyers for the show. We're really talking to people about that.
Yeah, so doing some of the digital buys. I saw that you guys got yours on BANDCAMP, and you got your official domain website too. That people can. That's in the show notes already. I already got it added in the show notes where people can check out the website and the BANDCAMP. But are you doing vinyls? I think you have a jewel case compact disc version too.
Yeah, we have vinyls. They're beautiful. Hang on, I'll show you.
Oh hell yeah, sweet.
I'll props ready for your thing.
Yeah.
Where's my? Actually, my copy might even be over here by my turntable. Oh, no, that's right. Move it over here. Things all over the place. Everything's always here at my metal command center. Things are often in flux. Here. Yes, we have vinyls. The vinyls have been very popular. In fact, I've already had to order a second pressing.
Wow.
This from the first pressing, just 100, but we're below, I think we're under 40 now. And like I said, it's only been a month. And we have those 2 shows in January that I want to be ready for.
Sweet.
So, yeah, so here's what the vinyl looks like. I still have to wrap around mine.
I see that. Yeah, I see it.
And here's the back.
Nice.
Each song title is on a different point of the septagram. The septagram is the number that I use to bring energies from other universes and stuff.
Sweet. Yeah, I noticed in
the final version, there's no liner notes or anything like that. We just have the black, but for people, when I talk to vinyl collectors, what they like is
this shit, right? Oh, hell yeah.
So they're all like this, and it's like the blue with the black splatter, and I love the job that they did. I use disc makers, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, it almost looks like it's like the sorcery spills out of the album cover, you know?
Right, right.
They did a good job, and it's been popular. I posted on my personal Facebook page just a picture of Beyond the Sun when I got it, and all the friends and everybody was like, I think people were like, I need to have that. So, yeah, we've been selling a lot of them. The 25s are on the BANDCAMP. And then if you get the CD, then you get a little more of the, like the liner. Put this up here, my music stand to do here. It's like getting more riffs. I just watch football on my computer and play guitar at the same time.
Yeah.
Hang on. Yeah. Yeah, the jewel case is, we kind of took an informal survey, too, to see if people wanted digipacks or jewel case or what people liked, and people didn't seem to give a fuck about the digipack, so we got a jewel case. And you see the CD itself. Oops. This is the camera.
Yeah,
pretty,
there we go.
But yeah,
Okay, cool.
designs the guy coming out, and picture of us. We're a very charismatic band. If you think the Muppets are charismatic, right? And then this has like all the lyrics and everything in the picture, so you get a little more of the actual content and stuff with the jewel case. But the album, you get the fucking sick fucking splatter vinyl. So there you go.
That's the complete set with the lyrics, the main thing, you know, and especially with the content. I noticed an authentic vibe with the sound that you guys are providing. I mean, mostly anything that goes through BMP is considered official as hell. But for you guys to go in there and then have the Deceptigram and then have... I won't go into details with too much of the craft, but, you know, as much as anybody's comfortable going into on that is definitely what I welcome here, especially on my show with you know, I have... the inverted and the right side up pentagram for the logo of the show, so it's like it's welcoming. You know, I'm welcoming all of those different types of cultures and all that.
Well, you know, I try to think about why metal is so popular here in the Denver metro area, and why, you know, there's like good bands here too, and like there's a band here called Oak Ash and Thorn that like a good friend of ours, and they're doing really well, and we got like pagan folk metal-y too. And I'm like, what is it? And now, of course, Blood Incantation are getting, I mean, they're probably like the biggest death metal band right now.
Yeah.
And they're huge, and they actually practice in the same building that we practice in. And dude, I think it's the energy from the mountains, bro. I moved out here, and man, there's just something about like just nature and like where I live. There's like a lot of animals around and stuff, and
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I just started kind of harnessing because, you know, in the Bay Area, it's like more like thrash metal, and then in Oregon, I lived there for 64 here, and you know, in California too. I kind of like went from thrash metal to being more like death metal, and now I'm here, and it's like all of a sudden I'm becoming more like black metal. So I don't know. It's like I've been evolving more and more, and I think it's kind of my environment, and I think that we're just harnessing this crazy energy from like different formations in the mountains.
It's good that you would bring that up, like that location dictating the different genres, because in my experience of being around the country as well, I think that it's super big coagulation of black metal in California and Oregon, and especially southern Oregon area, but it's not, you can't concentrate over there with shit. It's so easy to get distracted out there for some reason, just being so close to the shoreline maybe, and then maybe by you guys, it's just that it's easier to concentrate and focus maybe. Because if you go up north, like Wisconsin, Minnesota, and the Dakotas, there's like nothing up there. There's nothing up there at all.
I've never been there.
Oh, okay. Well, there's nothing there, so don't worry about it. Don't plan on it.
That's probably why. No, I've been lucky. I've got to live in some cool places. Like I told you, I lived in Los Angeles for a year when I went to if you've heard of GIT before, when I was really young. I didn't go to college. I went to guitar school to try to become a rock star, and you know, that didn't go that great. But here I am. And then I lived in Oakland in the early 90s, and you know, I moved up there because as a young guy, I was really into like thrash metal. and I moved there, and I did get to meet like a lot of people that I listened to when I was growing up. We played. I had a band there called Thanatopsis, but even before that, I played in Possessed with Mike Terrell, not the version they have now, but the version with Mike Terrell, the original guitar player from Possessed, and he was singing and doing it. I was in that for a little bit, and I had some other adventures too. I jammed with Tom Hunting from Exodus once when I thought I was going to get to be an Angel Witch. Him and John Torres, may John rest in peace. And I tried out for Heathen, didn't get in. I tried out for Machine Head, I didn't get in. But my band, Thanatopsis, we got to play like a lot of good shows there, and I had a good time in the Bay Area for sure. Had another band called Mudslinger that did pretty well there. It was kind of a weird band, but we got to play, for whatever reason, probably because I knew people, we got to play some good shows and stuff. Like, we played with, like, fucking The Haunted and Witchery. And we played with a band called Catastrophic, which is, good grief. What's his name? The guitar player from Obituary was his other band. His name is escaping me right now. Trevor Perez. It's Trevor from Obituary's other band, Catastrophic. We played with that band once. We played with Nevermore and Opeth, which was crazy, dude, with Nevermore on the Dead Heart and a Dead World tour, and Opeth on their first tour of the States. That was a band that I had called Mudslinger.
Yeah.
It's like a really down-tuned, slow. We did one album. I can't even listen to it now. We had Juan Ortiega. He used to be the vocalist for Vile, and now he's like a big producer guy. He was the singer in that band too. And my best friend, Lars, was the bass player. May he rest in peace, which is why still a special project for me, even though it didn't really go anywhere. But we got to play those cool shows. And then I had one other band in California called Sling Blade, and that was a hardcore band. And it was with some guys from a band called Attitude Adjustment. And the drummer in that was Chris Contos from Machine Head. He was the drummer in that. I jammed with Chris, too. Chris is in Forbidden now.
Sweet.
You know anything about the thrash world. I kind of have like a thrash metal background, you know what I mean?
That's what I noticed.
I'm like an older guy.
I noticed that there was not one genre that you've stuck to, except thrash seems to be the consistency. And then for your guitar,
that's kind of where I came from.
For your guitar riffs, you have that strumming style, that thrash strumming style. I can never catch on to that style. I don't know what it is, because it's like the metalcore has a lot of that. Like Lamb of God and Trivium have that, where their strumming style, it's like there's a muting in between the strummings, and then you're doing like a strum and then mute, and it's like I don't even want to get into the music theory aspect of it, because that's not going to help me learn. Actually, whatever comes naturally to me is what I'm going to learn. But
I think it's a technique, and I think that came from me listening, just being in the Bay. That's probably why I keep bringing it up. It's probably from me like living in the Bay Area and being around those types of players. And I was also really into a lot of the really, really shredding guitar players too. Like I really like Ethan Malmsteen, Vinnie Moore, Tony McAlpine, even like jazzier guys like Al Di Viola, John McLaughlin. I was like their type of playing, but like Al Di Viola is the sickest alternate ticket out there. Like if you want to make a metal album, good grief.
That's
like all of it.
That's like Misha Mansour from Peripheria mentioned something about his influence being another jazz guy, and then it comes as little surprise when you realize that adding that variety in, it brings in something that's like I don't know what it is about that. It's just that it's overlooked so easily that if you bring in that kind of variety. So it looks like when she picks up, she'll be on here.
Okay, looks like it's working. So you're in Chicago proper?
No, Chicago suburbs, and it's the same as Chicago. I can jog there in an hour and a half, 90 minutes. It'll take like just running on foot.
What is your deep dish Chicago pizza of choice?
Oh, that's great. We have Lou Malnati's, we have Giordano's.
That's the one that I had when I was there last time, the Giordano's. That shit was ridiculous.
Dude, it's something about the crust. It's pizza. The whole pizza culture is out here. It's huge. I used to when I lived in California, I used to work at a Chicago style pizza place. I was eating a meat lovers for the last couple months. A couple months back, I was eating.
I know you get one. It lasts a couple months.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like the meat lovers is where it's at. You get the ham, the Canadian bacon, sausage, pepperoni, regular bacon. Italian sausage. The Italian sausage is big too because it's spicy. You get that kind of spiciness in there.
I love that.
But
yummy yum.
yeah, the real deep dish, the way you do it is you put the cheese you put the sauce on top. Everything goes under the sauce. You put all the ingredients in, and then the cheese.
So really the way you do it is that you have the pan like this. Then you take some butter, put it on a sponge, and you butter up the pan like that.
Yeah.
Then you put down that first layer of crust. You put it around like this. And then that's when you put, the way I like to do it, let's see, you just want to make a pepperoni one. You put the pepperoni on the floor there.
Right.
And then you can put down, like, if you want your spinach and mushroom mixture,
Yeah.
I really like the mushroom stew and your cheese, and then you throw on that top part, put that on, and then you take a ladle, put the sauce, that chunky sauce on top, yummy yum, and then listen to this, a little bit of spice, with a little bit of oregano, yummy yum, and then you have to bake it, and at the one that we had this great oven. It had like 5 different levels on it. It was like a carousel, and
Right.
I think that was actually kind of the hardest part of that job, was to not fuck up the actual baking of it. They're pretty durable, you know what I mean? So it's hard to mess it up. Like, you could get away with like a couple minutes more than you're supposed to, and it'll still be okay. But it gets difficult too when you're also doing thin crust in there. You know what I mean? You have 5 different levels.
I don't know what the thin crust is. That's for people trying to lose weight and count calories and stuff. I can't stand the thin crust. I don't know what's the point of thin crust.
That's like a normal thing in other places. In other places where you don't live, that's like a normal thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know you guys are bigger on the healthy eating. I mean, we have a lot of.
There's like Pizzeria Uno. My friend Pachi, who actually used to work at the same place that I worked at, he actually did have a place called Pachi's Pizza, and they were legit, dude. And he knew how to do it, but they went out of business here, so I don't know. Maybe Denver's just not about. I'm all about it, but maybe Denver's not all about it.
We got Bocce's. I had a Nutella calzone a couple years ago, last year, I think. Yeah, last year I bought a.
Yeah, Pachi's a friend of mine. He used to work at Dad's with me.
That's a creative dish. Like a calzone with Nutella inside of it is like this melted chocolate. It's Nutella is weird. It's like Nutella is not quite chocolate and it's not quite peanut butter. It's just it's its own thing. It's like its own thing. I don't know what it is.
I mean,
chocolate.
There's one thing that I've learned as a stoner. There's one thing that I've learned in life, and that you can't go wrong with chocolate and peanut butter. Too good. Like Reese's, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yummy yum. Like when you're getting ice cream, that's also the best ice cream.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're cool. I like hanging out with you. Hang on, where are you? There you are. You're cool. I like hanging out with you.
Yeah.
When we come out, we want to play at I want to play at Reggie's. My friend Fred, he's an electrician. He did all the wiring and stuff at Reggie's. He sings for a band called Reflection. Do you know Fred Morg?
Okay.
He's a bass player for. He used to play bass in a band called Number 9, I think, back in the day. He's a lot older than you are. You're like a young guy, right? Like, how old are you?
I'm 32. So
so I'm like 50. I'm like 53.
Okay. Well, that's the only thing I have to add to the show notes before the episode's published is your tours and tour dates, because I'm sure you're going to be supporting the album here, and especially an album like this. I mean, I want to get back to the music here and talk about the album, but
yeah, we're going up on tangents. I'm kind of waiting for the other guys too, but
this album This album really does speak for itself. It just has a lot of the stuff that I want to comment on. I want to wait for these guys to get on here. Let me check my notes here. What questions I have queued up.
At least Sylvia gets on.
We're back. Okay.
Here's me.
She has the link too, so she's gonna hop in here in any second.
My
Yep, I just saw it there.
my screen is really small, so I could zoom around the room now. Now I can see larger frame. Now I can see the other guitars
cool.
and stuff.
Oh, cool. I don't have that.
The Jaguar.
I can hear you. You can hear me. You can hear me and everything.
Yep. Now I can see the Jaguar.
Where is the Jaguar? This is a Jaguar.
Or the Warlock 2, or whatever. What body is that? The second, all the way to the left.
The Jackson Roseby. Wait, are you talking about this guitar?
All the way to the left. I could see even farther. All the way in front of on top of the German band T-shirt.
Ah.
Yeah. That's not a Jaguar.
This one.
That's definitely not a Jaguar. My bad.
Yeah, this is a heavy one.
Yeah.
Never played guitar.
That's
This
like.
is actually a I got my screen smaller on the Google. This is actually a Schecter Apocalypse.
Oh, dude, that thing is. Yeah, the color tone on that too is really good. Hey, she's joining.
So, right, check out the Doomspock fretboard and stuff.
Hey,
there's a friend. Hello.
Did it work?
Work.
Yes.
Woohoo!
There we go.
Okay.
my Doomspock fretboard. Now this is a Schecter Apocalypse. I'll play this guitar. I have this guitar set for like 11 gauge. I used to use heavier strings. I don't want to be a wuss and have weak hands.
Oh,
Now I'm not that hard on myself, so now this is set with like 11 gauge strings. I don't use it anymore. Check out the back though too. Check out that neck is.
Yeah, that thing is so killer. It looks like it has 2 truss rods or something.
No, I don't think so.
It's just the design. That's just the cool design.
Yeah, it's a 3-piece neck. It's all right.
So real quick, let me get the introduction. Let me get the introduction of everything here.
Yeah, talk to Rhiannon for a little bit.
Okay.
That was we just did the first segment of the show. I'm going to add these into the episode. It's going to be a pretty good lengthy one. We were talking about music in the new album, and I had him introduce himself.
Are you recording that?
Yeah. Yeah, I want to make sure I get your introduction, if you'd like to introduce yourself and what instruments you play in the band.
Go for it, Dave.
I already did mine.
Yeah, here
All right.
it is.
Hey, thanks for having me. My name is Rhiannon Wisniewski, and I play synthesizers and do some backing vocals in Torn From Existence. And I'm enjoying a fine scotch while I do this.
Excellent.
Here
Look at you.
Cheers.
I'm drinking like cheap wine.
White wine. Girl, you basic.
I am.
Cheap wine's good.
You know what? I'm a basic bitch.
Yeah. Now I've got my Spice Market Scotch from the Single Malt Society of America. Fancy.
Yeah.
We just got a review today from Infernal Masquerade webzine where they described my keyboards as what did they say, like lush or expensive or something, and I'm like, yeah, I'm expensive.
She's got the scotch to prove it.
I want to try as a new. I'm sort of like I'm like the most experienced new podcaster there is. I've been only podcasting for like 13 years, and yet I'm still sort of a newbie at this.
He's doing this from a tent. No, just kidding.
Yeah. No, I am. It's. I mean, it's so fucking homestead style the way that I'm doing this out here, but you know.
What is the temperature in Chicago right now?
It's still like 40 degrees. It's still really warm out
here.
here.
Yeah, we have 50 today. We got the 50 today.
Right.
They said my keyboards were lavish, and I said, sounds expensive.
Yeah. So like when I'm actually listening to your album, I'm thinking
Not until like way later was I thinking about the possible influences. I'd like to know what the possible influences are, but I want to establish first the barrier that's there. That's like I'm absorbed in listening to you guys and just you guys when I'm hearing it, and it sounded very unique. It was individual, and then it was very clean. It was extremely clean. Like, I think that all the spacing in between everything was super clean. The transition in between notes and instruments and scales and everything was very clean. Excuse me. So I want to make sure that I do establish that first before asking about the influences, because I'm interested to know what are your guys' musical influences, and then also be prepared to hear what I think that they might be.
Okay, cool, man. Well, if you're asking me about my influences for this project, I mean, I didn't really like black metal when it first came out just because it wasn't that well produced. So once like the Cradle of Filth and the DV board gear started coming out, I could hear what was going on more, then that's kind of what got me into it. But then I got more into bands like Immortal and Dark Funeral. So I'd say for those projects, other than the lengthy list of thrash bands I like dropped before, but that type of thing, those are like the black metal bands that I really get into. But now that I kind of understand the genre a little more, I go back and kind of listen to bands like Ancient, or there's a band like called Demonic that came out on a label called Ospo Spectres a long time ago. I think it was Ospo. And I kind of hear more black metal now than I could before. I don't know why, if I have more of a mature ear now or a less mature ear now, but I think I just kind of understand it more. And kind of like I was telling you before, a lot of music that I create kind of depends on what I'm being surrounded by. And I think out here, being kind of a transcendentalist, at heart, and just the power of the mountains and kind of the energy out here that I feel just when I'm out walking around. I don't know, I guess I've gone from being a thrash guy to a death guy, and now I'm like a black and thrash death guy.
Right on.
Yeah, that's your question?
That is the gap I aim to bridge for sure. That speaking on the land and how that influences, inspires so much is what's missing.
Oh, yeah.
Is from any bio that you read. You need to hear it from the artist directly to know what that means and to experience that.
That's the first time I've ever said that to anybody.
Yeah.
Your secret's out.
I did hear a little bit of the Cradle of Filth influences, but it doesn't sound like you're trying to sound like them. It literally sounds...
I'm trying to sound more like Cradle of Milf.
Yeah.
So when Dave asked me to come on board and join Torn from Existence playing keyboards, he knew that I had already been playing keyboards in bands for a really long time, decades and decades. And my first serious band that I was in was a black metal band, an atmospheric black metal band. So I've been doing the black metal thing for a while, but I've also played in death metal bands and prog metal bands and all kinds of stuff, and even one country band. So I've done a lot of different things.
I didn't know that.
Wow,
yeah, Lost
so
State of
cool.
Franklin. I played mandolin and acoustic guitar and did 3-part vocal harmonies. So it was actually really good for my job. But
Is it like outlaw country?
Yeah, stand-up bass, good stuff. It's actually really good. I'm pretty proud of it. We recorded with one mic in the room, so every take had to be perfect. But yeah, it improved my chops. But I've been doing the black and metal thing for quite a long time.
That's old school.
The
That's
band
old school.
that I was into back in the day, some of my favorites included Emperor, big Isan fan. Love Emperor, Dimmu, obviously.
I also like Emperor.
Children of Bodom, Satyricon. Love Satyricon. I also loved a lot of the doomier stuff, like My Dying Bride and November's Doom and things like that as well. So yeah, Sam Ale, huge into Sam Ale. I love a lot of bands with tasty keyboard parts like Karak Angren now is awesome. It's a band I enjoy a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, back in the day, I would have to say I loved Samael, My Dying Bride, Satyricon, Emperor, Cradle, Dimmu, Children of Bodom. Those were all my jams back in the day, as well as some Dark Tranquility and Flames, the Swedish stuff. Can't escape it. Good mellow death.
Right, some of this sort of doomy style of stuff, Dark Tranquility, it has. That makes for where I think
We just saw them too.
each individual artist in this band here, because there's 5 of you, right? This is a 5-piece.
Correct.
And so each individual.
There's one of us for each point of the pentagram.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Excellent. And
We were talking about that before.
And you guys each have like your own space to work with here too. There's, when you come in on the vocals, as opposed to just doing the keyboards, you're playing the keyboards at the same time as doing the vocals. Sort of like, that's where I was reminded of Cradle of Filth. It really wasn't until long after that I realized the reference between Cradle of Filth. But that happens to me, which happens to be one of my favorite bands with a huge bias in there. I'm very biased in that. It's literally like the only cover songs that I can play. But
Would you say that we are FFO, Cradle of Filth, aka Cradle of Filth?
No, I think that it sounds like with the timing, and especially the female vocals when Rhiannon comes in, because that's you doing the backup vocals, right?
Correct. Yep.
All her.
When you come in on the timing, it's literally perfect how you just jump in and jump out. It rings and resonates more. I don't know if that was happening during the recording process or somebody commented that, but if that was done purposely or how much of the stuff is done naturally. But that's where I want to move on to a little bit in the convo is the creative process and in the recording.
Can I tell you something really quickly about Rhea's vocals and the recording? So prior to us, I'm going to anyway. So prior to us being in the studio, almost done with the recording, guitar's done, everything's at I finished the last notes of my guitar work and had surgery the next day. So it's a couple months later, we finally have a day that we call Clean Vocal Day. Now, prior to Clean Vocal Day in the studio, Rhea had never even sung one note with us at all in practice. Not one note, not a note at all. So,
yes.
Here in the morning. And,
it was all on the fly. All on the fly.
We were there in the morning.
Nice.
I'm there with our producer, Shane Howard, who is brilliant man and producer. There's so much getting to hang out with him and work with him. It's just an honor and such a great experience. But I digress. We were there in the morning, and I have Craig doing some clean vocals, Bill doing some clean vocals, and, there's some stuff that's okay, some stuff that's not, whatever is clever. And again, Rhea has not sung with us at all the entire time. I remember she came in later. She worked in the morning. I remember she came in later in the day. And long story short, she ended up singing on 6 out of 7 songs on the album.
Yeah,
and respectfully, all Bill and Craig's clean vocals.
We
all
had
the clean vocals on the album were her. And it was pretty exciting in the studio to hear all those things manifest. And, a lot of the things I had ideas for, and I knew I wanted her to do, but a lot of things kind of happened in the studio on the fly, kind of what you said. And a lot of it was very inspired, and with Shane typing in ideas, Rhea coming with ideas, Craig and Bill there coming with ideas, and I think you feel kind of the inspiration, the energy on the recording, because once again we did it. We summoned up some spirits from nothing, just from the environment around us.
Yeah. I was in this basement with my headphones on, and Dave would say, all right, sing over this part. And he would cue me, and again, I've never done it before, so I wasn't rehearsed. But he said, okay, let's try to do something. This is where I envisioned some vocals. And then I'd try some different things, and I said, okay, well, I've got a harmony idea. Let me try to add this harmony. And we ended up just just vibing, and a couple shots of whiskey later, I was loosened up enough to get those vocals done without ever having tried them, but then also having them be studio perfect without practicing. So that's where the whiskey came in. So kind of bridge the gap between practice and results.
No, because we were having, once you get there, you get a certain vibe going, and Shane and I were certainly ready.
And I've worked with Shane before. Yeah, I worked with Shane in a different band. I was in a band called Massa in Denver several years ago, decade ago.
Shane's a sick guitar player and songwriter too.
Worked with them. So I was very comfortable. That helped a lot to be comfortable around Shane. And then also my bandmates were very encouraging when I was trying new stuff. They were, giving me thumbs up or saying, yeah, try it again. Let's get it down. And, it really helped to have an encouraging audience, because when you're trying something with your voice for the first time and you're trying to record it, it's a little nerve-wracking. I won't lie. I was in there just trying to fake it till I make it with confidence level, and just make sure that I had the confidence, and I was like, I'm doing it. This is right now, we're doing it. And I do, I've been in the studio with pretty close to 20 bands in my career. So that does help. It does help to have a lot of studio experience in the past, just to make sure that you're not as nervous and things like that.
Well,
hey man, I have a new name for your podcast, Tales from the Tent.
No, that's one of the jokes that I have personally with my show, is that it has a million names. Like, somebody calls this. I've come up with 2 new names last year for this place, or this year even. That I call it like a bunch of different, and my friend, he calls me like a million names too. It's like, it's whatever, but I stick to.
I'm gonna roll that one for a little while.
Go with it.
Tales from the Tent.
Tales from the Tent. That's what we're gonna call you. I'm just kidding. You're awesome, brother.
Well,
Fist bump, first rule.
Oh yeah.
Wait, camera. There it is.
Well, I love Tales from the Crypt for sure, but we'll get into that. Some of that stuff that's non-musically. Right now, I'm feeling the heat of the moment here on the details of the music, so I want to keep in it especially with what it was with those that what you're saying about the one take, and then there's a lot of recurring stuff I'm seeing in this and experiencing it with myself. I want to try to get into that on our end individually for what that means specifically, because I think that there's a lot of barriers that break when you do a one take.
I think you're right.
There's a lot of mental
I
barriers.
think it's a moment of inspiration, and I think you can feel it.
Yeah, you can
feel it.
You have time to create limitations when you've rehearsed, but in the one take, your mind has no time to create the limitations, and then it comes out.
Well,
It's
every time you play a song, it's going to be different slightly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the body rejects change, and nobody wants change. But really, no matter what's around you, especially now that we've been playing some more shows and we have all sorts of different elements to kind of deal with, I'm learning more and more. Every time you play a song's a little different, and when you're in the studio, like we were for this album, it was just really important for us to be in a comfortable environment. Once again, after a long time of my life not being that way, I'm fortunate now, from a musical perspective, to have a lot of good and talented people around me and supporting me. And you know what? I was just well rehearsed enough and ready by the time we went in the studio. And I don't know. People said it took me too long, but we wrote that album in a year and got in the studio and had it out a year later. So start to finish, from writing to it being out, well, maybe a little more than that. It's just over 2 years. It's pretty good. I put an album before in 2020, so I've produced one thing every 4 years. And now, like I told you before, in Confidence, our second album's already written. So I believe that with my timeline, and I just want to make a video, letting this album have a full cycle anyway. Like, I want to have product ready, and I want to have ample product out there, but I don't want to flood the market. I want this album to also have its life, right?
Yeah.
So I figure maybe June, July, depending on what we have to do show-wise by then. But really, you should also try to play shows too. So it's a balance.
Yeah, it's all a balance.
Right now, a band at our level probably needs more product, you know what I mean, before we get out there too much. So
yeah. And when I was the last one to join the band, and all the songs were written when I joined. for this first one, the songs were written. Some of the keyboard parts were already even at least, kind of pre-conceptualized already. And for this next one, we've got, 7, maybe 8 songs that we're working on. I don't even know all of them. Do I know all of them? Do I have all of them yet? I don't know if I have all of them yet. But...
Yeah, I think you do.
Okay.
I think so.
They are a little more open to allow for other band members to contribute musical ideas than the first album was, at least for me. Maybe Bill and Dave and all of them were collaborating before I got there.
Yeah. Those guys don't really know those songs.
Yeah. After I joined the band, I had to get ready for the studio within 4 months after joining, pretty much. So 4 or 5 months. So I had to get it together. And then that did result on me doing some things on the fly. But I loved your observation about not having tried and rehearsed something so much to where you're getting any kind of mental preconceptions about it or mental blocks about the material. You can just go in and try it, and then it's like, okay, that's how the part goes now. So that was the experience that I had with those vocals. It's like, we're inventing them now in the studio, and this is how they go.
Yeah,
so it's kind of unique and kind of cool too.
Pretty cool.
Because it's you have to answer to some part of your reasoning in this process of making this genre, where most people don't. Most people have to answer to a person or a booking agent or an advisor or life coach.
Yeah.
These are just we're
I wish I had a reliable life coach.
Yeah, we don't have any of that shit. We're just flying by the seat of all of our pants.
Because I think about it a lot.
We're doing what we want.
You know what I will tell you though? What I'm going to do? I'm just going to give it 100%.
Yeah.
Best I can.
Yeah, because I think about it a lot on how it might be becoming a new standard. That like it'll be the new standard now that it has to be that way, where a couple mainstream artists mentioned one take in their video in a YouTube short. And I thought that was weird. I just did one take on my debut album, my last project, and then the legends like Nurgle and Danny Filth and shit like that. Like they mention in interviews often that they always do one take. Everything for them is spontaneous, and that for them it's
the advice from our band on that specifically is to always 69 or 20 666. Blaze it.
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
If you can just jump in and 69 or 20, 666 blaze it, you're going to be okay.
Right, yeah, it's like a cheat code.
Just do that.
It doesn't have to be any more complicated than that.
Grand Theft Auto cheat code.
I mean, that's what I'm going to do.
That's how you unlock the helicopter. You get the helicopter and freaking with the missiles on them, equipped with missiles.
We need a helicopter to land in the middle of our septogram.
Dude, that would be so badass for like a music video idea.
You do that?
Have you guys been seeing all the new Behemoth videos?
Their videos, the production of that is so over the top.
That's so.
I wish I was rich too.
It's so.
I wish I was Poland's richest export, but I'm not. I'm just me. All right.
Well, that's what I want to get into next is like the local scenes and like we talked a lot about the Chicago scene. I want to talk a little bit more about it, and then I want to brush over the Denver scene before I go over a couple more questions I got, because it seems like this community is on the whole pretty welcoming. I mean, we have a tendency to be more easily irritable by nature. That's common sense. But
the Chicago aggression.
Yeah. No, the metal.
You can feel
metal people, but yes, that too, but metal people, and on the whole though,
we're gonna go to Reggie's. Reggie's.
When you do come to Reggie's, I gotta buy tickets. I don't know where I would go through to get the tickets, but for all I know, I'll find somebody who's like, I'll
try to find you a way in. My buddy, he's an electrician. He did all their wiring.
Speaking of wire, last time in old band I was in played Live Wire in Chicago. That's where we played.
I'm alive. You've been to Live Wire in Chicago?
No, that sounds huge.
Yeah, it was a smaller club.
It sounds huge, but it's not.
Just
I mean,
not.
Smaller.
Because
That's
even
disappointing.
Fitzgerald's is supposedly like a hole in the wall, and it's like one of the biggest places to go to. Have you heard of Fitzgerald's?
Back in the day, gosh, played a club called the Subterranean Club in Chicago.
Yeah.
Thirsty Whale.
You actually know Chicago. I just know about the pizza.
I played there a lot.
I was explaining to him how I make the pizza.
And the Green River. We have the Green River for St. Patty's Day.
I was actually in a Chicago band that's still around, and in fact just released their triumphant follow-on after not having released an album in a very long time.
What band is that?
Avernus.
Avernus
From Chicago.
Are you friends with Avernus?
No, I haven't heard of them. No.
Your mission is to find the band Avernus until the yes.
Yeah,
they're all homies of mine. I was on their album Of the Fallen, and I was on a demo of theirs as well in 99, 2000, somewhere around there.
You want to come out there and play at Reggie's with Avernus?
Played with Avernus a bunch, and then my old band Somnus played several shows with November's Doom.
Okay.
The day after Milwaukee Metal Fest. So back in the day, we used to do Milwaukee Metal Fest, and that used to be Thursday through Saturday.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, we'd be driving back to Cleveland, and then you have to go through Chicago anyway, so we would do a Sunday show with November's Doom, and that's how I know the Subterranean and some of those other clubs, because we would play there.
That's the other big one.
But never did get to Energy.
That's the other big one is the Forge down in Joliet, but then you have like a 30-minute drive.
I've heard of that.
South of the city. It's southern. It's not even a southern suburb. That's like separate from.
You don't care. We'll do it. I'll play in Alston, Illinois, if I have to.
Calm down.
In a barn.
Just kidding. I'm not going to do that.
We'll get out there.
Yeah.
We'll get out there. But yeah, Chicago's always been a home away from home for me because.
No, this is a workplace.
Yeah, Cleveland isn't very far from Chicago, so I've been to Chicago at least 25, 30, 40 times. I don't know. I never really.
It's not. I think you can actually. Yeah, I think you can actually take a train from the city from Chicago to Cleveland.
Would you do that for us?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Are you ready to kill for Satan?
I'm not known for much, but I am known for going to great lengths for certain things and friends and people that I care about.
You know what? I like that about you.
Do you know Jimmy from Jungle Rot?
Jimmy from
Jungle Rot.
Jungle Rot. That sounds slightly familiar, but I don't think so.
Yeah, Jungle Rot's one of the bigger death metal bands from Chicago.
They're from Chicago? I thought they were from the jungle somewhere.
No, they're from Chicago. There's no jungles where they're from.
Jason
Speaking of environment metal, maybe they're talking about the concrete jungle where there's a big metallic bean.
I'm in the Jungle Rot family. We share a drummer, and I'm in the Somnus family. We share a drummer.
That's right.
Good.
No,
what other questions do you have about the album? You were talking. You know what? You talk to me. We always go off on these crazy tangents. But what do you want to hear about?
I do want to hear about the drums because I had a specific interest in trying to separate the AI drums and synthetic drums from regular drums. It's getting more and more difficult to do so. So I would like to...
All the drums on our album are real 100%. Our drummer, Jeremiah, is a champion among men.
Oh, wow.
One of the best drummers.
Yeah.
He's very humble, so I'm not going to talk on his behalf. But let me put it this way. His nickname is Thundar the Drumbarian.
Thundar.
Okay.
Drumbar. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Drumbarian. He's like a barbarian, but he's also a drummer, so that's why I made up this word, Drumbarian.
Drumbar.
He practices just about every day, so it is no accident that he is such a technical and precise drummer. He puts in the work, and obviously he has natural ability as well, because there's no way that practice alone will get you there. But yeah, he's extremely technically proficient and precise, and it's a joy to work with somebody where you never have to worry about the tempo fluctuation, you never have to worry about the double bass getting out of sync. it's nice. I've been doing metal a long time, and you can't
I think
always
he
say that
actually
about
finds our material to be quite boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he throws in nice amounts of little ear candy in there when he's using the bell of the ride or doing some fancy cymbal work.
I mean, the creative signatures that he put on that album definitely made the album more
Right,
unique.
Without the symphonic element in there, in the genre definition of the band, there would be technical in there somewhere. It's borderline technical death metal with the timing. And I don't typically like technical death metal, but I like how it merges with this album, that there's everything, each composition has its own space, and then it gives each one its time to breathe, and it goes like, here's yours, you come in with the vocals. And that's kind of specifically what I'm trying to get at is, did that come in naturally, or was there any brainstorming that went down that made it kind of like, all right, I need this to sound specific like this, and then articulation.
Everything was very organic. Had the song structures, and then people just rolled with it.
Okay, sweet.
We didn't spend a lot of time talking. We spend time getting to business with the music. I mean, we screw around at practice because or else Jeremiah will argue if we say that we don't talk at practice, because he knows that we do. But as far as the music, we actually don't spend a lot of time verbalizing what we want. We just pretty much do it.
And you know what? A lot of it kind of ended up happening in the studio.
Yeah, and it's refreshing too. Dave will show me a new song that he's working on, and then I'll learn his part first, but then I take that and then say, well, what if I changed it a little bit? What if on keyboards I did this instead? So I want to know the fundamental of the part, but then I want to do something a little different. So that's it's all pretty much just. I think I kind of know what Dave wants. I have a gift at knowing what parts he's going to like, and then I'll think about it, and then I'll play a part, and he'll be like, yep, I like that.
That's a valuable gift to have.
Yeah. We don't have to talk too much because I know what he wants me to do, basically.
Right. We're all pretty aligned musically. It's hard to get people that are like that, but now we have that going on. So you know what?
Yeah.
Roll with it. And like you asked me before, second album is essentially written, so we'll be working on that. I believe we can get it in the studio by mid next year, depending on what else happens. If we can play out of town more, that would also be good. That's what happens there.
Yeah.
And
you know what else? You were talking about environment, set, and setting.
Yeah.
We have a band chat where we converse all the time. But we don't talk that much about the songs or practice. We share, oh, did you see that new video? Oh, there's a new blah, blah, blah album out. Did you check that out? Oh, this tour just got announced. Like, we're all talking about all the stuff we enjoy. Or we send pictures of our pets. We have a tight-knit personal relationship, and I think that enables us to play together even better than just a group of decent musicians. Maybe we're all good at what we do. We come together, okay, so what? But we actually care about one another as human beings, and
right.
I think that adds a whole new element. And Dave doesn't care about anything. Don't worry about him. He'll get it. He'll get an earful later. No,
I'm getting.
But yeah, I think that does add to like what comes across on stage. There's another thing too for people. If you haven't seen us live and you just hear the recording.
You saw some live clips, he said. Did you?
Oh, nice. Because we're a bunch of goofballs, and when we play live, Craig is really funny, and Craig will say funny things in between songs, and we're not super serious, even though we do black metal and it's supposed to be really serious. So
right.
I think that's something that is different from us as well.
Oh, it contrasts. So those two things are reliant on each other. It's crazy to think, though, that there's a lot of people that don't have that. It's true. Having that as a separation between most bands.
I'm getting more serious by the minute.
And there's slip-ups like that. That's funny to me. I think that's funny. Like, I get it. I get the humor, And then it's unfortunate when some people don't have that sense of humor.
Watch me.
Or, You know,
Yeah.
like
we're
a real life.
We're definitely goofballs.
A real life Death Clock. I don't know if you ever watched Death Clock and you've seen. I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah.
you've seen Death Clock. That's like the best
Metalocalypse.
show. Or Metalocalypse.
It's one of the 3 best shows of all time.
And there's the episode about comedy. Like they fail as musicians, become comedians, and he says, "I don't have a funny bone in my body." And it's like, sometimes I feel that way. Sometimes I'm like, it's like, don't be too serious. Like, just calm down, just freaking relax.
I love Death Clock. My favorite is Toki and also Dr. Roxo.
Dr. Roxo loves cocaine. Yep.
You know what? Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I was just partying with Dr. Roxo on Halloween. Oh, it was the Saturday after Halloween. On the Saturday after Halloween.
Oh, this year?
With my homie from War Crown, who may or may not be doing our video. Someone's gonna have to do it. It might not be him.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, so you had asked you asked about the Denver scene. War Crown is some friends of ours playing a metal band in Denver, and I've lived in Cleveland, played a bunch in Chicago. I've done small tours here and there. I have to say that the Denver metal scene is one of the most open-minded and well supported of anywhere in the country. The turnouts for shows are pretty amazing.
And multiple shows on one night.
Yeah. No, I call it mile-high problems when there's multiple shows booked on the same exact night at different venues. One weird thing about Denver that I haven't seen anywhere is the number of venues that will book metal shows. Cleveland, there's 3 different venues that'll book metal. That's it. That's what you got. In Denver, I have personally played over 40 different venues in metal bands in Denver.
I think,
and it's like they don't just book metal. They'll book different kinds of music, but metal it has a little more. I don't want to say mainstream appeal, but more people like metal around Denver, so it gets booked in more places.
I think Cleveland is actually part of the Bible Belt. Is from what I'm mistaken.
Cleveland rock.
It's like
nah, it's too far north for the Bible Belt.
Like,
it's a small city on the decline. We're part of the Rust Belt, I'll tell you that. Not so much Bible though.
I mean, that's where Midnight's from. Do you like Midnight?
Yeah, Midnight's from Cleveland.
Well, I think I've heard of them too.
That's like some Rust Belt rock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cleveland's just small. A lot of people have left. Cleveland's heyday was in the past, and Denver.
I can't wait to
coming
play
up.
Cleveland. Be sick.
So.
I'll play at a brewery there called Golden Horn.
So going back to the Denver scene being very supportive of it. I was talking to him earlier about the different parts of the country that also have a very alive metal scene, specifically black metal, and that for some reason I think it's harder to concentrate and focus anywhere else but Denver. So he's been everywhere and tried it in California and Oregon and stuff. How about you? And also attached to that question is a double question, 2-parter. Is how did you guys all come together? How did you guys meet and come together?
Yeah. Well, so I was in Cleveland growing up, and I started playing in bands when I was about 18, and I moved out to Colorado when I was 29. So I had a good 10 years of being in bands in Ohio. Actually, one of the shirt I'm wearing, it's upside down, but it's called Dark Arena, and this was a progressive power metal band I was in playing keyboards in Cleveland right before I moved. They're still around, well, they were still around, but one of the members actually passed away. But they were a progressive power metal band, very good. And when I moved to Denver, I didn't really know what kind of bands I was going to get hooked up with, but I did just kind of join whatever band needed a member till I got connected in the scene. And I did doom metal. I did a prog rock band.
Yeah.
I did a technical death metal band. I played bass in a tech death band. And then I played keyboards in Moth and did a bunch of different things.
She's a multi-instrumentalist.
Yes, I played primarily bass and keyboards and vocals. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of different bands over the years. And Dave played in a band with my old drummer from my band in Cleveland. We were called Somnus. Chris Stoley played drums in my band, and Chris Stoley was one of Dave's BFFs growing up.
What is it?
Because Dave's from Cleveland too.
What is the band's name? Somnus?
Somnus. SOMNUS.
What does this mean?
It's the Latin.
Hang on, I'm gonna get this. I'll get the CD cover. Hang on.
Yeah, the Latin god of sleep. Hypnos is the Greek counterpart.
Okay.
Hypnos and Somnus.
Yeah.
So Somnus is the Roman god of sleep and dreams. So we were kind of a serial doomy black metal. And so I did that band for about 7 years. We had 2 CDs and a couple demos. But anyway, we had that mutual drummer friend. So I knew Dave from Chris. And then when Dave moved to Denver, I was already here. So I would see him at shows and we'd talk a little bit. And then he dropped the bomb on me last spring when he asked if I wanted to join his band. And I had been familiar with Thanatopsis. I'd been familiar with stuff that he's done in the past, but it was a little more thrash death centric. And I didn't see that there'd be the obvious connection to keyboards with that kind of music.
Okay.
But he's like, hey, I got this new project. I've got music to send you. It's more black and dust metal. There's the Somnus CD.
Yeah,
that's the second one.
Yeah, we're
Two creations in.
We're definitely in the same arena with this, which is going to open up a whole new topic. I just have to restart my video recording real quick so that that way I don't have any lapsing.
I hope that no cars run over your tent. I hear the cars.
You can? No.
Yeah, are they going to run over you while you're talking to me?
Oh no, I'm in the woods.
You are? You safe?
Oh yeah.
Are you in the woods? Are you in the woods like this guy? Like this guy's in the woods?
Well, not only that.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I have a lot of my stuff protected the same way with a lot of the.
Wow, the energy around you. Yeah, I know you do. That's why I like you. Look, yeah. I get. You know what? I see that about you.
There's. Can you guys still see me?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's the.
You're redder than ever.
So red.
So red. Why are you so red, bro? You red?
Are you in a red tent?
Red, bro?
No, that's the lighting.
Red.
It's my red lighting is good for the show, and I like doing some of my tutorial videos where I do guitar teaching.
I like it, dude.
I know. I wish I would have known. I could have gone and got a red light or something. Been cool.
I have like a blue light thing over here, like our album cover.
I'm just in my.
So that's
with my dining room behind me.
There's a couple things too. I think I missed over real quick.
You guys, my cool.
Who did
your new shirt?
Who did the bio? Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. That's a band I'm gonna have to check out. You know what? Let me just send that. You're gonna.
Oh my god.
Can I just write that down actually for a second actually? Because
we'll message you.
Yeah, message it to me.
You're gonna have to for like 11 hours now.
I'm big.
We'll type it in the Insta.
I'm big on those German bands. I don't know what it is. I got a big thing about it, but no. Who wrote
Creator of Destruction?
Who wrote the biography for your BANDCAMP profile? Because I love the way that must have been you. That must have been you.
It was a combination of Rhea wrote it initially, and then Metal Devastation PR kind of edited it a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah, it was 80% me.
Because that was okay, and that's just the character that you share. That's just the character qualities you share that have the quirkiness. Because it was the most concise, funny, and still somewhat morbid description you could ever find. Yeah, it was in 2 sentences. And you have...
That's your girl right here. My day job is I'm an efficiency engineer. So when I hear a word like concise, I take that as a high compliment. But yeah, I don't want to be verbose.
Nice.
I want this little blurb to say everything it needs to say. So I appreciate that.
Well, it was, and then it not only that, but it struck the imagery of the blue light. That it was like, the blue light, the blue album art, and I was like, hey, I kind of like the blue album art because it means frost to me, and it means cold. It means like winter time. It's very black metal.
Yeah.
And
very black metal.
Yeah. And so next up, real quick, I want to get into your name, as I've been researching this book called The Mabinogion. Have you heard of this? Does this ring a bell? Because that's a character in an old ancient Welsh tale who...
It means your name, not the name of the band.
Yeah, Rhiannon. Yes, Rhiannon is a very old Welsh divinity name. My mom heard the song Rhiannon by Fleetwood Mac. It came out in the 70s, and she thought it was beautiful, so hence my name. It's not even so much as, my mom's actually a metalhead, so it's not even so much that my mom's obsessed with Fleetwood Mac or anything, because she's not. But when she heard that song, she just thought, that's got to be one of the most beautiful names I've ever heard. And when she was pregnant, she thought, if I have a girl, I'll name her Rhiannon, and if I have a boy, I'll name it Joe. So I'm glad I came out female, because I don't know that the world needs any more Joes. We have plenty.
And you get a beautiful name like Rhiannon, and the story. You should really look into this. I'm actually doing an episode of the show on this. It's in between this interview and the last interview, or somewhere. I do lots of episodes at a time, so it's somewhere in this swarm and barrage of episodes I'm doing that there's a small clip of this book that I found 10 years ago. I drove to the Irish American Heritage Center here in Chicago and found it and asked about it. And it's like really old, and there's two versions of it where the character that you're named after, or not named after, so you're not named after, let me clarify quick for memory, that you're not named after this Mabinogion character, you're named after another, just general Welsh goddess. So technically you are named after her then, I guess.
Right, yeah, and the story that I had heard was of her. She had a lover who was trying to chase her, and her horse always ran this far ahead of that guy's horse, and they ran all night, and he was never able to catch her because she's the god of the moon and of horses, the goddess of the moon and of horses. And so this guy was trying to suit her, and she just stayed ahead of him all night long. And then finally he said, why wouldn't you let me catch you? And then she said something like, oh, you didn't ask.
I'm totally writing a death metal song about this.
Yeah, you should. So, there's totally. So in the story of the Mabinogion, you should read that and check it out. As there's a clip and mention of it in one of the episodes.
You can't read anymore.
Where I know it's like impossible. It really is. It really is like next to impossible to read nowadays. I mean, with all the audiobooks and movie stuff going on. But what the theme of it is super metal. You could check it out on the episode. I don't.
I'll have to get that spelling from you in a Insta chat so that I don't mess it up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because I'm booked up on my themes right now and all my concepts and all my songwriting, so you could make this before me. I won't be upset. I'd be glad to have referred you to the story. It's a pretty sordid affair, and
no wonder he likes our band.
Yeah. Cool.
Hey, you know what? I appreciate that.
But
I appreciate you reaching out, and I appreciate you liking us.
Yeah, it was totally good to have you guys on. I'd love to, try to cap everything off, make sure that everything's...
I'll hear you.
Real quick, the last thing it looks like I have is, because we talked about everything I have on here on my notes, the last thing is the album artist. I did like 5 minutes of research and Googling the album artist that did the album art, and she's huge, so I'd love to know how you guys got hooked up with her.
We were searching. It was just a pure internet search and looking at different people, and we just found her on the internet.
Yep.
The most and last what we wanted to do.
But we didn't spend a whole heck of a lot of time talking about it. We had a couple artists we were thinking about, and hers was one of the first ones. So we didn't spend too long trying to search. We found her pretty fast, and then
it felt like it was hard for her to find me. It felt like it was hard for me to find her.
She's huge.
I was having a hard time.
I was the last one to join. So I was the last one to join, and
I'm lucky to have found her, and now that we've found her, I never want to let her go.
She's done 30 years, I guess, of artwork for other bands. I guess she's been in the scene for 30 years or something like that. And then there's all these artists that, like, I was so excited to see. I mean, I only caught the glimpse of one.
You look at her stuff. There's all like underground stuff with like cassettes and like so crazy. Like it's great.
It's all fantasy.
Chili. Really, I'm not even sure.
I mean, that's where I would love to. If you, I don't know if you guys have the interest. Obviously, I have the interest in like the fantasies, the fantasies like Lord of the Rings and type stuff. But then also like the substantial stuff as well, like the actual magic, you know. And so that would be, that would be cool.
Well, basically, I came up with the concept of the album cover by extension of the fact that it's based on the first two songs of the album. Of course, Crawl from the Crypt, and you can see that happening with the septagram and the three witches and the hands coming out of the circle. Of the septagram. That kind of describes what's happening in Crawl from the Crypt, if you look at the lyrics from that song. And then the second song of the album, which is entitled Curse and Covenant, is really how this band was created. It's by a witch, well, maybe not so much a friend of mine anymore, but a witch I happen to know, who put me together with our bass player, Bill the Bass, and the band kind of formed around that. And we went through a few members, and I jammed with a few people. Very notable, very good drummer was good in this band. Juan Pablo is a good friend of mine, an excellent drummer. He's playing more extreme death metal bands right now. But anyway, that album kind of depicts the lyrical content of those first two songs, and as I almost drifted off on sometimes, the fantasy and the lyrics of the songs kind of go into the reality when you're around here. But I would encourage you to take a close look at the album cover. Like if you look at the clouds around the top, by design, if you look closely at them, I have like different faces of agony. Like,
there's about 3 or 4 faces in the clouds.
Yeah, and that was inspired by actually the Testament practice.
Face in the sky.
Yeah. Well, that too, but actually the album too. There's the third one, and then like if you look at the water, something that's our own thing is that there's faces in the water too.
So there's the 3 things I want to try to cap off on. Is the first being that the authenticity is totally there. Like I could feel the authenticity that you guys are about this lifestyle and like the magic and the occult and all that stuff. And then there's that I can relate to it, to the actual hearkening of the darkened skies. Like I like the skies being darker myself personally as a preference, you know.
Yeah.
And then
I have an altar set up over here on my bay window. I can't really show it to you right now, but yeah, definitely all about practicing with my altar and my wizard and my whole like quartz setup and everything like that. We have a huge quartz pentagram in our yard. I live in the mountains, so I'm actually not in Denver. I live an hour southwest of Denver in the Rocky Mountains. I live in the Rocky Mountains, and I have a beautiful property right here at 9,000 feet elevation, so I'm up here. But yeah, we do have this. One of the first things we did, my husband and I, when we moved in, was collect beautiful pieces of quartz, and we made a huge quartz pentagram in between some trees. And without even doing it on purpose, the lower point of the pentagram points due south, and the top is due north without even trying. It just worked out like that.
Right side up.
So it's pretty cool.
So it's like right side
What's
up.
That?
So it's like right side up.
Yeah, well, it's on the ground. So the point of the top of the star faces due south, and then the pentagram, the top of where there's not a fifth point in that direction, but that end of the star points north.
That's how
so
I find
pretty cool.
When I'm practicing myself personally, I am always overwhelmed and overcome with the feeling that this is becoming so much more organic and natural of a thing, where it's just like, it must not have been this easy in ancient times and stuff. It must have been like very highly regarded. And then, think of how much more in control of the spirit world and the spirit realm that we have to be because of that. And that this is what we can do with that, like it's sort of a dangerous thing but this makes everything better. Metal music makes everything better,
100%, my friend. And if you've studied history or even just read historical fiction, you will see that poets, musicians, and artists were at the top of society, and merchants and bankers and stuff were at the bottom. And in today's shitty world, unfortunately, the opposite is true. And people with money and corrupt business practices are at the top, and artists are barely scraping by. So,
hey, I'm rich in spirit.
The old ways definitely extolled. The old ways definitely extolled the artist, and we can still play in that world. We can still have that kind of a voice and keep that going.
Oh wait, look at this filter. It's a non-red filter.
Yeah, the red light went out, and I have this, and you have my battle jacket in the background and my guitar, and so I have my battle jacket.
What does that mean? Does that mean we're shutting this down? Do you have all the information you need?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm just enjoying the cruise back down to earth at this point, and then making sure.
Can we talk about some of our upcoming shows before I let you go?
Yeah, that's where I want to get. Yeah, that's where I want to get to after that final comment that I had about the vocalist and the uniqueness and the I guess just really quick sort of examining his vocals, and I would have loved to have him on. But it's okay. I just at least would like to.
I didn't get to him soon enough.
Send my sentiments
while we were trying to figure this out.
At least send my sentiments toward him of the combination of of what he's doing with his voice. That I can feel that what he's doing. As a vocalist myself, and as you guys are also vocalists. Or do you have vocals? David, you have vocals too, right? No, not a vocalist.
No vocals. No. It's too much.
Just shredder. All the shredding, all of it.
Well, thank you for that.
It's a full-time job to shred that much.
But it's there's like a dual nature in his voice that I was noticing really stands out, and a super can control it. I guess what I would like to see in the next album very much would be like a little bit loss of control. Maybe if he would lose control a little bit of that, because it's already
he is.
And you know what? That's very much on the table.
No. He does. He was trying at practice. He was trying this new thing with his voice, and I forgot what he called it.
Right.
But it was it was some kind of inverted fry, like he was sucking it. I don't remember, but it was a new thing. And it was cool.
Inverted fry.
It was some weird.
I could see that.
Yeah, it's some weird ass thing, and yes. And in fact, that's funny that you mentioned the dual nature of his voice, because he can do these gutturals and he can do these screams.
Yeah.
There was actually a review that we got. I don't remember which review it was, but they thought that it was two vocalists because they couldn't believe it was the same guy doing the gutturals and doing the highs. And he's big influenced by. We love, Craig and I love a lot of the same music. He's big influenced by Christian Alvestom from Scar Symmetry and a lot of their.
I also love Christian metal.
Do a lot with their voice. But yeah, he listens to a lot of that stuff, and I know that he aspires to be very dynamic and do things with his voice.
I could tell immediately. I almost had that same suspicion, but I could tell immediately by how the two follow each other so closely. They're so mirrored. There's no way that it's two vocalists. I was like, this is this is really good. This is insane. And then at the same time, with the sort of stoic nature of things that's common in here, commonplace in this community, I'm just like taking it in stride. I'm just like, whatever. But it's still nice to be able to comment on. I hope he can hear my sentiment, watches this episode of the show, and can.
I can hear you, and you know what? You're less red than you've ever been before.
Yeah, so much less red. But yeah, we'll pass that on to Craig, and hopefully we can chat with him the next time. But
yeah.
I was pleased that he's pretty new to being in bands. He's newer to the scene. I mean, he's not new to going to shows and stuff, but he's newer to being in bands.
It's funny on the Middle Archive.
I admire that he's working on his vocal presentation, that he's trying new things, and we're getting to see him grow and evolve, which is pretty cool, because he hasn't already been established.
That's where I'm coming from better than Craig does.
Yeah, he was, and he didn't have the preconceived notions. He didn't have the preconceived notions like, hey, I'm Craig from XYZ band, and this is what I sound like, and this is what I do. Like, he didn't have that, I'm this kind of vocalist. He's just like, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that. What do you think of that? So it's pretty cool.
To be honest, the reason Craig's in the band is because he looks like a comic book character named Phineas Freak from the Freak Brothers.
I mean,
we joked that the whole band actually looks like a bunch of Muppets, or like, because we're all very animated and we all have distinct features. And
you look kind of like a Muppet too.
Well, I noticed you had the Muppet. Yeah, I do.
No, you're like a Fraggle. You're like, you know what? You're like our cousin. You're like a Fraggle. He's a Fraggle.
Yeah, what's a Fraggle? I don't know. A stuffed animal or something?
Fraggle. Well, no, they were Muppets as well. Weren't they?
Show.
I'm
Yeah, they're like an offshoot of the Muppets.
I'm
yeah,
more
you
like
might
a
be
happy...
You're like a Metal Muppet crew. You're like a Metal Muppet cousin. It's all good.
The Fraggles were from the 80s. So
I'm
maybe
more
you're
like a
too
happy
young.
tree friend, I think.
He's in his 30s. I asked him before. You're Craig's age. Our singer is 36. Yeah, they're
36. 36.
And Bill and I are in our 50s.
Yeah.
Rhea
And I'm the only one in the
Rhea's a young girl.
Before I cap out the episode off here, get to the tour dates and everything, we covered a lot, and I want to thank you guys very much for your time. And it's very much a pleasure to be on here. Pleasure to have you guys on here. I just want to get with a couple things that I would like the viewers to take away. And that is, with us in our snug community and all that, we feel safe and we feel comfortable and all that. But do you think that, like, or what are your thoughts and experiences with how everyone outside of this community treats us as for who we are? Because everyone has an individual experience. I want to try to gather that from each artist I interview.
I actually have something to say about that now.
Okay, let's lay it on me.
Very specifically, especially because we told you about the song Waves of Chaos, another song we'd like to feature today. If you listen to that song, I wrote that song. Craig and I worked on it together, and Bill and I worked on it together, of course, but the lyrics in that song are a lot of kind of where I was coming from at the time. And really, if you listen to that song, it's about somebody who's been exiled from whatever situation. And that is a reflection of my own, even though it's a fictional story, that's kind of a reflection of my own experiences that I've been having, especially over the last 4 to 8 years, where I've kind of felt like less and less and less and less. Incrementally, I just have not been able to... I've been able to function in society, like it's that thing, but like being around normal people has been making me angry, not uncontrollably angry, but kind of angry at times, and stupidity, and less and less people I think over the years I can relate to just going out in normal environments. And so anyway, I don't want to get too deep into that, but that song is definitely a reflection of how I feel that I have been rejected from today's society. And really, a lot of the concepts on this album kind of stem from the fact that I don't really think I belong in this fucking world anymore. Not in a scary way, but in a way that's kind of like, people aren't getting me, I'm not getting them. I'm a true artist, and that's what I want to kind of...
Yes, and the song...
There's not a respect for that anymore. And, that's a lot of what the songs on this album, like also Scream No More, Fuck This World, it has not been good to me. It has, but it hasn't.
That's
I don't know.
That's all.
Sorry.
That gives me...
Edit the fuck out of that.
Honestly, I don't have much to say to that, because that gives me less to say, because that is the song saying everything. The song says everything.
I don't. Look, brother, in my heart, I know that I don't belong in this world anymore. It's a sad thing.
Well, look at the name of our band.
Community.
Yeah.
So now, that's now, kind of like, that's like my family now. That's what I have.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at the name of our band, Torn from Existence. I mean, it's encapsulating Dave's thoughts about integrating less and less in normal society as time goes on. And
but then
he's got his rules. No metal, no Dave. That's his rule.
Yeah,
no metal.
But if you listen to the second verse of that song, there's a lot of vengeance going on, and as the character in that song does leave the world. He leaves the world of air and oxygen. He comes back from the sea, and the entire part of that is really inspired actually by a lot of kind of Lovecraftian themes, like if you are familiar with Dagon, or kind of like a lot of the stupid ones too, like Into the Deep or things like that. Like that's kind of what happens in the song is that he gets exiled, gets thrown to the sea. It's always going to be to his death, but he has a connection with the Kraken and kind of the underworld forces. They come back and get revenge, and so it's kind of a story of hope because maybe we can all get our revenge in a way once we've been exiled for no reason.
Oh, in truth, yeah. And truthfully, yes, yeah. That's
what that song's about.
But that's where I'm going to throw a curveball and say, what about ourselves? What about our communities? Do you ever feel outcast from even our own community? As that can be something that
I want to put something else on the record right now.
Complexity.
You're gonna make a couple enemies here and there, no matter where you are, what you do. Once your band gets profile to profile, it's gonna happen. If you're not doing that, or if that's not happening, there's a part of me that feels like you're not really doing your job, and it's not because you're doing anything wrong. But people are going to disagree because you're getting more and more. So the more and more people you engage with, the more and more people disagree with, and that's all okay and natural. But to answer your question, right now, the only place in my life that I'm feeling any sort of love in the world is in the metal scene. So a metal scene? Thank you for that. For my people.
Same. I have my home in metal, and I think a lot of us came to the metal scene, well, for one, because we have good ears. And then for two,
really good players
because we were outcast. Yes. And think about it. Think about the way the music is going in today's day and age with everything. You had said it earlier, with everything being computers and AI songwriting, pitch correction on every vocalist.
You reject all that shit.
It's the norm now for pop vocalists to have pitch correction, and everything is computers, and it's bullshit and horseshit, and metal is one of the last bastions of real musicians playing real music.
Yeah,
and it's awesome.
There's sort of a divider line that I see that's put in place because of that, as a contrast to where you can get into the articulation of that and like what could be done possibly, or make metal essentially is what I'm seeing in my mind, because it seems like we'll have that less work.
I'm going to do the thing that he just said.
If we do, that's what I'm saying. If we do this, we'll have less work. We won't have to articulate it. But then some of that complexity still seeps into people's lives, like mine, for example. And then it's a personal issue. It really is a personal issue.
Thanks for that, brother.
But yeah, I mean, you guys were very, very much a pleasure to talk to and get into these deep issues. I don't know how much you guys want to talk some more. I know I do. But
you have to let us plug our shows at least. So let's do that. Make sure that.
I appreciate your thought-provoking questions. But before I plug the show really quickly, I did want to say that it's interesting being a female metal musician. Not because I want to make a big deal out of gender politics or anything like that. Just interesting, just to observe that in my time span of being alive, I went from 30 years ago. I set up my keyboard on stage. I got booed by people in the crowd before they even heard me play, because they're like, "Oh, some chicks in this band, boo!" And the world isn't that place. Because you were asking, have you ever felt turned away in your own scene? And I would have to say that when I was younger, I had to prove myself more because there were less females in metal, and there were a lot more judgmental guys saying, "Boo! Chicks ruin metal. Chicks."
Manowar.
I had a lot of people actually really prejudiced against me with regard to my first playing in metal. I came off stage one time, and a gentleman in the crowd, he doesn't even deserve that name, some asshole in the crowd said, "Oh, you sounded really cool. Who writes all your parts for you?" And I'm sitting there thinking, you think that a man writes my keyboard parts for me because I'm a woman and I can't write a keyboard part because I'm a dick? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. That's the kind of shit that I heard.
There's something about like the kind of maggots and flies that follow you after performing or something like that. That like you have to, after anybody knows that you're there, you have to like run. Basically, you have to like turn around and like get straight away, like away from everybody. or sort of, and like go backstage or go get out of sight, because we like there's something about us that people just magnetize towards us and like attract to us, and it's like those comments aren't restricted to gender. I know that we we're free to talk about the gender equality and all of that stuff here for sure in this country.
So within our band and within our camp and within our friend base and within the people that are around us, I and especially my bass player Bill the bass and I are dedicated, and Craig and Jeremiah and we all are, and Rhiannon of course, are dedicated to having people around us and having a safe environment around us no matter what. Like that's what I said before, like with this band, I have good people around me. I want that to extend, and we will protect people around us.
I do have to say that from moving to Cleveland to Denver, I noticed a difference in that support. I didn't think the support was as good in Cleveland, and I didn't think people were as open-minded and diverse and stuff like that as far as types of metal and types of people playing metal. And when I moved to Denver, there were a lot more females going to metal shows and a lot more people cross-pollinating with other kinds of music, because in Cleveland, be like, oh, there's these black metal people, and they only like black metal. They don't like death metal. And these thrash metal people don't like death metal. They only like thrash. And then I got to Denver, and I'd see the same people at the black metal show, the thrash metal show, the doom metal show, same people, because it was more accepting. So I do have to say that things did get better for me in Denver with regard to the metal scene, and I agree with Dave. We have it pretty good here. We are generally well liked and accepted and supported, and not, we don't really have to deal with a lot of adverse conditions in the Denver metal scene as far as our band and our friends and our people. So it's better than it was in my opinion.
Excellent. It's excellent. It's excellent to get into all the details. That's when I really get excited. But we do need to pop off here pretty soon. So let's do tour dates. Let's do tour dates. I'm gonna need to write these down while I'm on here, and then it just will make it easier. So I'm ready. I'm ready to write down the tour dates here. Because these are for the
right
show.
Now we have no tour dates. We have 2 shows.
These are for the show notes here.
That's
it.
We're doing a tour of Denver and Florida. a limited 2-show engagement.
No, that's pretty good. Still, especially Florida.
They're good. Down for Florida.
Yeah, we're really stoked. So we're opening for Venom Inc. in January 14th at the Oriental Theater, aka the O, in Denver, Colorado. So we're very excited to play with Venom Inc. and Night Wraith and one other band I think is on there.
Night Wraith, bro. Those guys would hang with you in your tent.
Yeah. So we're excited to play that show. And then within 2 weeks, we're heading down to Miami Beach, Florida to play the Heavy Metal Beach Party, which is the pre-boat launch party for 70,000 tons of metal, which is a long-time running metal cruise that's been taking off since 2011. I've been on that cruise myself 10 times. I met my husband on that cruise.
Wow.
Yeah.
Super cool. Yeah,
there's a whole other story there. But I've been a part of that cruise, and in fact, I created the first meetup for people from that cruise at a restaurant in Miami, where the first batch of people who were talking on a forum got together to meet before the cruise. And then my friend Doro, who is the promoter for Heavy Metal Beach Party, Doro and her friend David Pavon are
Queen?
Booking this Heavy Metal Beach Party thing, and that's been going on for many years too, and we're really excited to get to play that this year.
Wait, you don't mean Doro the Heavy Metal Queen, do you?
No, not Doro Pesh.
Doro Pesh. No, her name's Doro Morgan. She is a heavy metal queen, but not Doro from Germany, from Warlock, not that Doro.
Okay.
But she's promoting this Heavy Metal Beach Party show that's been going on for
she's seen us twice.
At least five or 6 years now, I think.
She's come out to see us a couple of times. She's been scouting us out. And
she came out to Denver.
If she ever hears this, thank you for that.
And she's excited to have us on there. And when we're in Miami Beach, Florida, we will play for everybody who's going to go on the cruise. And so there will be people from 72 countries typically go on the cruise. So we're hoping to get to play for people from all over the world in Miami Beach there at the Clevelander Hotel on January 27th or 28th.
That sounds so good,
28th.
Especially with Florida being just a great place to go. It's like a beautiful place, you know. It's a whole nother vibe than California. It has the palm trees like California, but it's a whole nother vibe. A little bit more fast-paced.
I can't wait for you to see our art. We have special art. We have special art for the Miami Beach T-shirts and tank tops we're making from the same artist, Silvana, and she knocked it out of the park. So it's our same theme from our album art, but we asked her to move those three witches to the beach. It's fabulous. It's all blue and pink and Miami Vice, and those hands coming out of the ground by the pentagram are holding fruity drinks.
Oh, that's
fruity cocktails.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah.
We'll send it to you. I'll send it to you so you can check it out.
We're really stoked about our special limited edition Miami Beach artwork that we're coming out with. We can't wait to see everybody plastered in those tank tops.
I think that's funny. I think that's funny as hell, you know? Like, it's pretty funny, and it needs to be... Like, there's so much... I've been lacking of like, that some of that sense of humor, and when I hear about this, and then from the artists themselves, and then see this, it should be funnier, but I need to, you know, obviously show it to people, see what people are saying, see what other people are saying about this, and then...
we're pretty stoked for those T-shirts to hit it. We think that they're going to make quite an impression on people. And you know, you're a metalhead for life. We have senses of humor. We might take our music very seriously, and we do, but we want to, you know, we're having a good time as human beings, and we want fun merch options, and we want fun stage presence, and we want people to have a good time.
That's why you smile. You do that
in addition to being scared as hell by our provocative and intense lyrical and musical themes, we also want you to have a good time.
Absolutely, that is what a better.
Also, I want to have a good time. Good grief, because some of these things.
And what a better way to do it than to try to see you guys for these couple shows. I want to go. Next year is going to be huge for me. I'm going to need to go bouncing around and stuff. So if I'm in the neighborhood, I'll definitely be hitting you guys up. And
their neighborhood, say what's up.
Again, freaking such a pleasure hanging out with you guys. This was a lot of fun. Maybe next time we can get the vocalist on there, or we can get the other guys, and so.
Yeah, you can hear their side of the story, so you hear how different it is.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, this would be. What time over there now? You guys have? Oh, it's a little early.
8:03.
Still kind of early here. I need to try to go for a walk. We're gonna get some more rain showers. We've been eating rain all day, so
oh man,
I'm gonna try to stretch the old legs. Being cramped up here in my tent is not the best, but you know it's free,
awesome, brother. Go out there.
Free living.
You want those? What do you guys from Chicago? I know about the pizza. Obviously, we talked about that, but you guys also have like the craziest hot dogs with like pickles on them and shit. Like, what's up with that?
Honestly, I'm just in an area surrounded by forest preserves. I have a pond right out here that I watch the geese every morning, and we have herons and swans and ducks, and those. I mean, I hear them. My favorite part of the night is
no hot dog.
It's nice. No, barely. Yeah, I get to have hot dogs from time to time and stuff, but.
Let me get up for one of those hot dogs.
You know, just this.
God damn it, Dave.
Yeah, it's like the best part of the night is when it's real quiet and I hear them swoop in. And I'm going to drop off the recording. Just any final goodbyes before I drop off the recording, and we can...
Yeah. No, thanks for having us. We digress as usual.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Check out Torn From Existence on BANDCAMP, tornfromexistenceofficial.com. Friend us on Facebook. Get our shit on Spotify, follow us, and we love you, and we hope to see you sometime soon. Thank you.
Awesome.
And that was just...
Well, that was a blast. I had a really great time hanging out with these guys and promoting the album. I want to make sure you guys check out the show notes for those future tour dates and the links. So make sure that you also support this show and subscribe to see all the other artists. And as promised, the discussion of Bootsy Collins' promotional cameo.
Yeah, Mama. Denver death metal band, torn from existence, wants to debut their new album, Hearken the Darkened Skies. It drops October the 4th, and it's available at their show at the Roxy Theater that night or on BANDCAMP. So yeah, we crave, for you, baby. So come on in here, like the dark cave, and get down. Not a clown. We don't joke around. This is for real deal. Not the deal dough, but the deal dough. On the one, baby.